Hello and welcome to Pillars of Wealth Creation, where we talk about creating financial success with a special focus on business and real estate. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. Now, let's get to it. Hey, so there's this big thought of, well, we got to find the money. We got to find a deal. Let's get this great deal. But there's very little thought, I feel, on execution. And we can get a great deal. We can get all the money for that deal. And that's cool. And we close on the property and we get to put it on our Facebook and LinkedIn and we get to talk about it and we get to maybe even be invited to a meetup and to a conference, talk about how cool we are because we closed on this, 120 unit or whatever it is building. And so that's really cool. But here's the problem. Can we execute on the business plan? With what we thought we were going to get, what we told our investors we were going to do, are we able to actually create the results necessary in order for us to be successful, in order for us to return our investors money and return them with profit, right? Which is the most important part. So that is, I think, the key critical factor to truly all this quote unquote success, right? It's great to get the deal under contract. It's great to negotiate, get a deal under contract. Guess what? You're willing to pay the highest price, right? It's great to get your investors in on the deal. They're excited for it. You're excited for it. And hopefully you're going to return them great returns. But the most important part is, can we actually execute on that business plan that we set out for? Do we have a business plan? First of all, we better have a business plan. Did we communicate it solidly with our property management company? Did we communicate it with our on-site staff? Did we communicate it with our contractors? Is everybody on board? Because if everybody's not on board, well, that's going to be tough to execute a business plan that nobody really knows anything about. So that's first and foremost. We got to communicate with our property management company. We got to communicate with our contractors. We got to communicate with our on-site staff. Super important, right? And then how are we communicating them throughout the process? So reminders are really important. Showing up on site and really going through the property and making sure they fully understand. That's really important. And holding their feet to the fire, of course, with accountability is also super important. We have to hold people accountable. And if we're not going to hold them accountable, our business plan is not being executed. I think it's really important for them to understand exactly why you're trying to do things too. Not just telling them what you want to do, but really tell them why. When they know that you care and respect for your tenants, and that you want your tenants to be provided a great place to live, they're going to actually treat your tenants like that, or there's a better chance, right? There's a better chance that their decisions will be decisions based on that. When they're only thinking you're worried about the bottom line, when they think you're only worried about are we spending too much in maintenance or repairs and stuff like that, well, then they're going to let a lot of that stuff go. Maybe your property is going to end up being in poor condition, whatever it is. I just recently had to get rid of a property management company, and it was because our philosophies were a lot different, right? They walked into the property that I was disappointed with. I was disappointed with the condition, the overall condition. I was disappointed with the lack of repairs and maintenance that were happening. And they told me that this property was in the best condition of all the properties they managed. And that right there told me, okay, our alignment is just not there, right? I have to have property management companies. I have to have people on my team that actually align with my goals. So alignment is really important. If you can't handle making those tough decisions, if you can't handle having those tough conversations, then you need to find somebody that can. So we have to have tough conversations with our property management companies. We have to make tough decisions. We recently had a property that it was doing okay, but we wanted to see it do a little bit better. So instead of just having a conversation with our on-site staff and our regional, we got together with the owners of the company, with the regional, with the on-site, and actually had a real in-depth conversation of what our expectations are, what their expectations are, and how we can make sure they align up. And guess what? Since that conversation, the results have been phenomenal. We've seen a drastic increase in NOI growth, and we're really seeing that alignment of interests. Same thing with walking through a property. We walked through a property and we had disappointment when we walked through and we saw some renovations. And so we had a conversation with the contractors about what our expectations are and where we expect this property to go. Now, we're getting units that are coming to market, so we're going to have to see where they're at. We're going to have to see if they're living up to our expectations. And if they're not, if they can't, then guess what? We have to make a change. We have to move on from those contractors and find new ones, because we have to make sure everybody's aligning with our business plan. That's really important. Again, it's great to get this property in contract. It's great to get your investors on board. But if you can't execute your business plan, your property ultimately is a failure. And look, in a hot market, that might be okay. Maybe you could exit and make some great money. But in a market where there's uncertainty, which right now I say there's uncertainty, it's not too crazy yet. All right, we're still seeing some good stuff going on. Maybe it'll stay like that. But sometimes there's not as much cushion, and so we want to make sure we're executing properly. And plus, if we execute properly, then in a great market, we do great. We do amazing, right? We do way above expectations. And in a bad market, at least we do okay. If you got anything you want me to talk about, let me know. Love to answer any questions you have. I've got a couple that I got to talk about coming up. Love to answer any other questions that you have. I'd love to help you out. By the way, we got the North Star Real Estate Conference virtual conference this year, of course. It's in October 23rd, 24th, and we are focusing on rental cash flowing real estate. We're focusing on multifamily, very, very big focus on multifamily, talking a lot about syndication, talking a lot about executing business plans, talking a lot about how do you find these deals. We are going to hammer commercial and multifamily real estate, and we want to help you take it to the next level. We want people, or we're going to have people there that are already at the next level and going even bigger, okay? We're excited to have them on, and this is going to be a fire hose. We're going to give you a ton of information. We're going to feed you everything you need to know. And we're also going to provide amazing networking, which is unlike a lot of virtual events. We're going to be really trying to make this an experience for you so you can connect with some of these awesome people that are at the event. Because we don't want you just to show up just for the education. We want you to show up for the education, but we want you also to make real connections, real in-depth connections where you can passively invest, actively invest. You can find passive investors. You can find brokers. You can really find potential business partners. We want that type of experience where you can find the missing network pieces that you need and that you can create some major success for 2020 and 2021 and well beyond that. So talk to you soon. North Star Real Estate Conference, NRE Conference, NREconference.com. And you can use DEX, DEX, for $50 off. Get your tickets. There's VIP tickets too if you want those. Get those tickets, $50 off again. So check it out, NREconference.com. And I'm looking forward to having you at that event.